Hi friends, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Megan Brown and I am the manager of Two Bright Lights, and I am super excited to be here with you today. So Anya and I have been chatting about how photographers and the market could be very saturated in a lot of markets. So we thought that this would be a great opportunity to come together and put together a presentation and some wisdom from us in regards to how you can use your brand and your work to get out there and be in front of your ideal client. So that is why I am joining you today and really excited to be here and can't wait to jump in. So without further ado, I want to share my screen and kick things off for today so we can start helping you even level up your business even more. So hold on one second. All right. Okay, so as I said, my name is Megan Brown. I am the manager of Two Bright Lights, and today we're going to be talking about, as a photographer, how to stand out in an oversaturated market. So a little bit about me. As I said, my name is Megan. So going a little way back, I actually married my high school sweetheart, have earned a degree in music business. I'm a very type B person until you get me into a spin studio, and then who knows what is going to happen. And I've actually lived in New York City for 13 years now, which is crazy to me. But at the same time, I really can't imagine being anywhere else. So that's enough about me. So today we're going to start talking about standing out in an oversaturated market. So the industry facts. Let's think about this for a second. The wedding industry is a $63 billion industry. There are 1.8 million wedding events every single year. Let that sink in. 1.8 million events per year. That's crazy numbers, which is why there really is enough work for everyone. But when it comes to finding the right work for your business and having clients or potential clients find you as the right photographer for them, it's how do you make sure you're standing out? How do you make sure that you are there when they come knocking or when they come looking? So that's why we're going to talk through today 5 different things that you can do with your business and your work to make sure you're standing out. So let's get started. So the first thing is really, it starts with inspiration. So talking about using your imagery to be able to reach out to somebody, give them ideas. Why is this important? Because 81% of couples want to see more real weddings as inspiration for planning their day. Let's think about why that is the case now. Well, we're in a day and age where personalization is key. Everybody wants something different, something that they feel like hasn't been done before, something that uniquely represents them and their significant other. Like, these couples want to shine. The leaps and bounds that we've come in the past even 10 years in this case is staggering. I mean, thinking back then, invitations even, they used to be very limited. So white, off-white, black or navy blue lettering, but today the options are endless. So you can make sure that you're getting your work out there and giving these couples who you're hoping to book ideas of things that they can create, so that way your work is front and center. But it's also about choosing the right photos to make sure you're putting out there. So again, remembering the purpose of what this is and why you're putting it out there to inspire them, I'm going to show you 3 different examples of an image that may be great and then an image that's even better for the purposes of standing out. So the first one, this is, a beautiful pair of shoes. It's great. They look like they'd be really comfortable. However, it doesn't give you much of an inspiration. It doesn't show you about the day or how this was woven into the theme. But if we take a look at this one, this is a great example of how using that same subject that was in the image before, but weaving in all of these other details about the actual wedding. So the hanger and the rings and the invitation, and you get a feel for how the event looked as a whole. Even though this is just a flat lay of a very small portion, it gives you a general idea of what the wedding was like. All right. So here's another example. This couple looks really happy and it looks like it's a beautiful area that they're in, but you can't really see the details and be able to get the real inspiration or the real feeling of what they're looking at and what's around them. But in this shot, you can see how beautiful her dress is, the flowers. You can see what the groom is wearing, and you actually can see the surroundings. This whole dress just makes you feel something. I'm sorry, this whole picture just makes you feel something. And it's gorgeous, and it gives me inspiration of things that I could do to create this. The standard line 'em up pose that we have all seen. So sure, this is great, and it's probably really important to the family to have something like this. But this image is a perfect example of 3 generations coming together and making you feel something. It just really levels up from that photo we saw previously. It's still a family photo, but you can see the love and feel everything that they have going on in this image. All right, so we've talked about the right images and why you should be choosing those images. So next, you have to be where your clients are or your prospective clients are. So what does that mean? So the knot. Awesome. Because you're all advertisers, it's great. You've already taken that step. But use this opportunity to go back and revisit your storefront. What are you showcasing? What images are you showcasing? Is all the important information there? Make sure that you're going in and updating this regularly, so that way it shows that you're active and it shows that you care about this, putting this forward. It's going to work for you when you're taking the time to really critique it and make sure you're updating it constantly. Next is on social. Couples know that they can find pretty much everything on social, and most of them today are social natives. It's crazy that they're spending 6 hours every week just on social media. I don't know about you, but when I look at my battery usage on my phone, the amount that I spend on Instagram or Facebook is probably a little embarrassing. But if I'm already doing that, they're probably doing that too. So you want to make sure that when they're on there, they can find you and they can see your work. So we'll talk about in a few minutes how you can do that, but you just want to make sure that you have a presence on social. The next thing is your website. So maintaining your website, blogging, and getting published are all ways to make sure you appear in search results. Those 3 things are an SEO boost. You want to make sure you're blogging with the correct keywords, you're getting published that helps with backlinks to your site, and making sure your website is up to date. Exactly the same reason you want to make sure your storefront is up to date, because you want to be putting your best foot forward and showing that you're constantly doing new work and putting your best work out there. And we'll talk about how you can get published in a couple minutes. But then also in publications. So 95% of couples use blogs and magazines in their planning process. That's a huge stat. So that means if you're not out there in blogs and magazines, you're missing the opportunity to reach all of those couples. So that's, again, why you want to make sure that you are where your clients are. But then it doesn't stop there. The perfect images are great, being where they are, but then you have to authentically connect. What does that mean? So this is when you need to take the opportunity to be who you are and to tell people who you are. Couples today are looking for people that they can work with, that they can relate to, they could be friends with, and who really gets them and the event that they're trying to create, and to make so personal. So that's why you need to take this opportunity to really be out there on social, on your website, everywhere that you can be, showing sneak peeks of behind the scenes of how you work and how you relate. Instagram stories are a great opportunity for this because it allows you to showcase you. They're not as formal, So you can be fun, you can be a real person on there, and it gives you the opportunity again to show behind the scenes and how you work. So when it comes to your Instagram feed, you do want to make sure that you're in your top 9. So what do I mean by that? It means your face needs to be in the 9 posts, so that way someone comes to your Instagram feed, they don't have to scroll or try really hard to figure out who you are. Yes, it is super important for them to see your work as well, but they want to authentically connect with you, and they can't do that if they don't know who you are. So make sure your face is in your top 9. That also comes back to either your storefront or your website. Leah from ColourPop Events does an amazing job of being her. She explains it so well, so that way when clients find her and they read about her, they know exactly what they're going to get, and they know if there's going to be a connection. So in this example, Leah is she had a legal career before turning event planner. She has a passion for spreadsheets and flawless attention to detail. That sounds pretty awesome. And so she has a great way of connecting with those potential clients that have the same passions or have the same interests or like working with someone who they know they can trust and is going to be, super into the details and have everything planned out in spreadsheets. So that's her. So she doesn't shy away from that. She makes sure that's out there so that she can find the couples who want to work with someone like that. Also, with that connection, you need to make sure that you're getting to know them as well. So when you receive an inquiry, you want to make sure you respond quickly. Generally, couples today want a response between 5 minutes and an hour, which is crazy, I know, but respond quickly and personally. So make sure you're asking them questions or relaying something back. So if someone reaches out and says, "Hi, I'm planning a California wedding in the fall at the beach, and I'd love to know about your services and how they would fit." So you could respond back with something like, let's see, in this example, "Hi, Maggie. A California wedding in the fall at the beach sounds absolutely incredible. I'm really excited to hear more about your day. Here are some of the services that I offer. Do you think it would be a good fit for you?" So it's not being pushy, but you're getting personal, you're asking them additional questions, and you're responding quickly. So that way they know if they can make a decision or want to move forward. It's a great way of making a really good first impression. All right, so we've got the images. We've got to know where we're showing up, and we know how to authentically connect. But the next step is making sure that you're building your brand credibility. So how do you do that? How do you make sure that you're getting references for your work? You are out there in the right places for people to find and know that people are trusting you? Well, one of the first things that you can do is get your work published. If we at Two Bright Lights love to see people get published and are all about helping make this process as easy as possible. So that's why I wanted to go through the next few steps about how to craft a submission to give the editors something that's really hard to say no to. So that'll really make your submission shine. All right, so let's kick that off. So the first thing is to do your research. I cannot stress this enough. It is so important to have real goals with this and to figure out what are the best options for you. So let's think about it. When you're trying to figure out what publication to get your work to, you don't want to send it to just anybody. You want to make sure that the publication that you're sending to is the right fit for you, for your brand, is the right fit for where your ideal client is going to be looking. So take a couple hours and do some of that research. So go through and look at the publications. What types of work do they feature? Are there particular images that they always feature? Is there a particular theme? Is there a region or a niche that they focus on? Does your photography style even match that publication? All of this will be able to help you put together a spreadsheet or document of some of the goal publications. So you can rate them your A goals, your publications, your B goal publications, and so on. So that way, you're ready to go as soon as you have something. One really easy way of doing this, and I love doing this, is going to the publication's Instagram feed. It is a really quick way to scroll through and visually see exactly the type of work that they like to publish. So I highly recommend doing that. The next thing is choosing the right photos. So not just the right photos like we talked about, the ones that were to inspire and things like that, but the right photos for a publication. So you want to be sending them 100 to 150 images, and the breakdown should be 70% detail shots and 30% with people. I know, right? Mind blown. It's kind of crazy to think about the fact, wow, you're almost flipping the way that you would potentially structure an album or the photos that maybe your couple likes the most. But again, think about what the purpose is. We're trying to make sure we're out there to inspire couples. So these are the details, more details and more details. But also make sure you keep them in the order that they occurred. The editor of that publication was not there. You were. So they need to sort of see it as a movie. They can weave through the setup of how things, the getting ready shots, setting the scene, then going through the ceremony, and then the reception. So that way, keeping it in order is very helpful. So again, making sure you've got those detail shots, and I mean everything from a wide shot of an empty ceremony site and then work your way in to the same thing for a reception. All of those are detail shots. So make sure you're thinking beyond just the ring shots or a flat lay. Cool? Next is tagging all the pros. I can't stress this enough. It is so important to give credit where credit is due. So if you don't know everyone that worked on the event and there's a planner, ask them. They know everyone that's been part of it. Or ask your couple. They obviously know everybody too. I know that after the wedding, sometimes it's hard to get information out of them. So if you can build that into your pre-wedding workflow where you're sending out maybe a questionnaire, which many of you are probably already doing, and ask for that information up front, it can be really handy. Something that editors not only want, but they require. They don't want to be on the end of emails where they are getting angry notes saying that somebody was left off. So you want to make sure you have everyone tagged, especially if you're going for print. You know, it's going to happen at some point that somebody gets unintentionally left off. But with print, there's no going back. With online, sure, you can fix it, but with print, you can't. So make sure you double check. And if you, like I said, if there's another pro you worked with, have them take a look at the list too and see if you can do it together. It can be really helpful that way. Okay, so next is including all of the info. Okay, so we've got the images, we've got all the pros, but what's next? Well, the editor has to write something about it too. It's not just about the beautiful work, it's about the story too. So make sure, again, if you're sending out a questionnaire pre-wedding, ask questions or even take notes when you're meeting with your couples. Figure out how they met. Is there a reason that they decided to go with certain theme or design for their wedding? Is there something that they chose? For example, is there a food truck at the reception because the couple met at a food truck festival? I mean, that's kind of cool, and it's a great story. It's a way of making this submission stand out. It's something unique. So again, it gives something for the editor to write about. The images are only half of the submission. But then you have to be strategic. So you want to make sure you're being smart with where you're sending your work. This is where that exclusive and non-exclusive publications come in. So an exclusive publication means that you're sending work to them and saying that you have not submitted it anywhere else and it hasn't been published anywhere else. So you're basically giving them the first right of refusal. If you're sending to a non-exclusive publication, they are totally fine with featuring work that's been published elsewhere. So if you're just starting out with getting published, non-exclusives tend to have a higher frequency of publication. So sometimes that's a great place to start. You may find more quick success that way. But for those goal publications, for example, like The Knot, which are exclusive, it's great. You can send it to them and then basically they get the first right of refusal. So you just have to be prepared to be patient to wait for a response. So for example, The Knot has a 6-month print cycle for their regional publications. So that means that if you send your submission at the beginning of that, you could end up waiting around 6 to 8 months for a response because they don't review everything until the end of the print cycle, and then they have about 2 months as that review process. They're basically curating a book, so they can't make any decisions about what they're going to accept until they've seen everything. It's just like college applications. Most of the time, they don't make any decisions until the deadline has passed. So just be prepared to be patient. But the best submission strategy is to shoot for exclusive, and then at the end of that exclusivity period, then you can submit that wedding to multiple non-exclusive publications. So you could get the same event that's existed in your portfolio published 5, 10, or even 15 times. That's when this magical marketing machine that really does work while you sleep kicks into high drive. So definitely make sure you're keeping track of when those exclusivity periods ends so that you can get that extra mileage out of that event. Okay, so now you've been published. This is the best feeling ever. So what do? There's so many different ways that you can celebrate your success. So share it on social. I mean, like now. Do it as soon as it's published. But when you share, tag every single pro you worked with, the venue, your couple, the couple's parents, the bridal party. I mean, I don't know about you, but basically my mom will share anything on Facebook that has something to do with me. So I'm assuming your couple's mom is going to do the same thing. And that way, all of a sudden, your name, your work is appearing in the feeds of thousands of people that you don't even know. And so this is that free marketing that does amazing things for your business. But then it doesn't stop there. Make sure you also send an email or contact your fellow pros about it. Make sure they saw it because they might have missed the tag on social. So send them the link so that they can go out there and start sharing it as well. But then there's also a way you can add it to your website. So I'm sure most of you have seen those published in or featured in badges under a press section or featured section on someone's website. Most publications give you the ability to download a badge as soon as you've been published by them. So make sure you do it. And if you don't have a press or featured section on your site, add one. This is huge. Most times when couples are comparing maybe 2 photographers that are similar in their own eyes, if someone has these press badges, these featured badges, it really levels them up, and that's the one they're more likely to go with. So make sure those are there. And then blog about it. We talked earlier about the importance of keeping your blog up to date, but we have all been there when you take a look at your blog and you realize, whew, I haven't blogged in how long? Yeah, so this is content that creates content that keeps your blog up to date. So go to the publication, screenshot it, write a little bit about how excited you are, link to it, and then perfect. You have now a blog post, content, and you're telling a different group of followers because not everybody follows you in all of the places that you've been published. So it's your chance to brag about it. You deserve it, you earned it, so don't forget to do it. Also, this is when your ability to get rave reviews also really shines. So The Knot makes that super easy. And you should, because consumers are likely to spend 30% more if they read excellent reviews. So If that's not a reason to go add reviews to your workflow, then I don't know what is. And what makes that even better is that storefronts with a winning Best of Weddings badge get up to 3 times more leads. So how do you make sure that you work reviews or you get reviews? Well, you ask for them. Make it part of your post-wedding process. Once you've delivered the photos, make sure you're asking for a review, but make it specific. 5-star reviews have to have all of these components. Name check. You want to make sure they mention your name. It means that there's that personal, authentic connection that couples are looking for. And then ask them if there's something specific that you did or something specific that they remember about working with you that made the experience so special. This helps to make all reviews unique. You don't want all your 5-star reviews to sound the same. So making sure you prompt your couples when you're asking for it, this is going to make you get those reviews that really shine. And it's so easy. Okay, so we have covered so much already, but this last one is really important. Making sure that you're out there creating a network. And this is, yes, of course, you're creating a network with clients from past and potential clients, but also your network of pros. Share your images. This is huge. Because you're a photographer, you are sitting on a marketing goldmine. So you have the ability to share these images and be other pros' best friend. That gives them the opportunity to then share your work with credit, of course. And so when they're out there sharing, they're helping to market your business. And also, they're going to be more likely to refer you because you've helped their business. So make sure, again, adding that to part of your post-wedding process, share galleries with the other pros that you worked with. It only takes a little bit more time, but can go a long way and really, really help to build that network. Next is get outside of your comfort zone. With the Knot, it's super easy for you to join those workshops and the mixers that happen in your markets. Go. They are full of amazing people, and so you need to get out there and get to know them. If you're not in an area where that's possible, get online. There's so many groups, whether it's on Facebook or something like that, where you can meet people all over the country, all over the world that do similar things to you. And you can learn from them. And you can get referrals from them. So make sure you get out there, whether it's comfortable or not, whether you like it or don't, just get out there and make sure you're having these conversations. You can learn so much about your own business just by talking to somebody. And you'll probably make some friends, which is really great. But also, share the love. So this goes back to that celebration of when we got published, but also any time that you're posting, it's always good to credit as many pros as you can. So tag the florist. If you're posting a photo that features flowers, tag them. They're gonna love it. And you know what? They're probably gonna be more likely to use your photos. And again, send couples your way. So make sure you're out there and sharing that love. Everyone possible. Whew, okay, so we went through a lot. We talked about 5 ways to make sure you stand out as a business. So the first one, inspire prospective couples. Make sure you're choosing the right images so that they're inspirational, so that you give people ideas, so that they want to keep coming back for more and more. The next thing was to be where your clients are. So be on the Knot, you're already there. Be on social, blog, be in publications, update your website. All of those things are so important to make sure you have a presence so that they can find you. The third thing is authentically connect. Be yourself, put it out there. Silly or not, your ideal client is going to connect with you and they're going to want to talk to you. The next thing was build your brand credibility. It can be so easy through getting published, asking for reviews. All of that serves as unbiased references for your work. You want people to know and trust you before they even have written that inquiry email. And the last one is to network, network, network. Get out there, make friends, and work with some amazing pros that are in your market. There's enough work for everybody, so get to know them and share. And just be out there and be the person that your ideal client wants to work with. So that is it. Thank you so much for joining today. If you can follow along at 2 Bright Lights or Megan SB for more tips, and you can reach out to us at 2 Bright Lights at hello@twobrightlights.com anytime. We are here to answer all your questions, whether it is about publishing, social media, or anything like that. And a big thank you to the Not Pro for having us today. This was such a fun webinar to put together, and I'm so excited to be here. So great. Thank you so much again. You are already a Not advertiser, so you're already one step ahead of the game. Now go continue to use these tools and level up your business. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.